How I made my damaged Claude Scruggs. This is a custom diecast made off the iconic scene which he flips on top of Todd Marcus. And today I'll show you the steps I made to make this diecast, and steps you can take to make yours as well. This diecast was made from one of 2 used Claude Scruggs diecast I bought at a flea market. The first thing I did was to take some images of the wreck and print them out onto a piece of paper to reference while I was actively working on the custom. I started this project off how I start all my projects with a coat of matte clear, just to make anything I put on the model stick better and give it a much nicer finish. I sprayed a few light coats on the tops and bottoms, then went in for the teeth where I used a small black pen to give that mouth gap. Next, I took a screwdriver and started giving him some of those big gashes shown in this image, and scraped it all until the bare metal was visible and replicated the image pretty closely. This is a tedious process, so please do be patient while working on a custom, and always be safe in using a screwdriver. And to make that gash a bit more visible, I took some black weathering powder and painted it a little bit in the gash and then around the wheel well to show some marbles that may have kicked up during the race. Next was the most difficult part in my opinion, being the red paint put on the sides. I didn't have a perfect match, so I started off with this red, sort of darkish paint, then just painted it in the right pattern shown in the movie. This was put on his sides and on his roof where he and Todd rolled on top of each other. And to further enhance the roof damage, I took the screwdriver and then chipped some paint off and gave him a bunch of scratches from where these 2 cars rubbed against each other. And from there, gave him a last coat of red paint on his roof for now, as well as touching up any areas I'd missed before, such as the back bumpers, and putting a little bit more paint on his side. Next was the heavy scratches right above that red paint on his side. I took the screwdriver there again, and this was a tedious process, taking about 30 minutes, so I do recommend you be patient during this step as well. And during this, the red paint had fully dried, and the darkness I didn't really like, so I took the red Sharpie and put it on top to give it a bit brighter appearance, which I thought looked a lot better. And with the marker filling some of the gaps I'd made before, I had to re-scratch up the roof. But from there, this first half of the model was done. Something we never see, but I thought would be fun to do, was to take some pliers and bend the spoiler backwards, which I thought turned out pretty nice. And next was to take the screwdriver again and scratch up all the parts I'd missed before and other parts that were shown damaged in the movie, filling in with yellow as I go to show paint smears. I followed that with the black pen again and then scraped off that bottom white text to make it more realistic, as that would never be on a real car. And from there I scratched up his other side heavily, as we rarely see it, but it seems pretty well damaged. From there I sanded it down just to give it a more roughed up look. Scraped it a bunch with the screwdriver and then smeared some paint with some yellow and black Sharpies. And once I was pleased with the results, I took that black weathering powder and applied it all over in one final coat to all the parts that would have been roughed up or rubbed against the asphalt. But learning from McQueen a little bit and going a little bit lighter on the powder. And from there, I made some custom eyes on Google Docs, printed them out to scale, and glued them on. And with one final coat of matte clear, this custom was now done. Out of all the customs I've done, this one has to be my favorite, and I think it's turned out the best out of any of my customs. It just looks super nice, and it's perfectly accurate to the movie in my opinion. And the posability of this one is just great, as you compare him with a bunch of cars, and it still looks nice. Though I will have to wait on a Todd Marcus to pair him with, this guy sits perfectly fine by himself. Hopefully with the steps from this video, you can learn to make your own damaged Claude Scruggs. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week.